Hey everyone, welcome back to another YouTube video. Today I am very proud to finally announce the Akshan 101 is completely done and ready to be seen. So this is a project I spent over a month. 100 hours have been poured into this project, and this is the best resource on the planet to learn and master Akshan. So if you are looking to learn, pick up Akshan, or if you are even looking to get better at Akshan, everyone and their mother will need this. So without further ado, we are going to go over how this works. Starting off, this is the landing page. As you can see, Akshan 101. I spent a lot of time customizing and working on everything. It's not perfect just because I've never worked on a Google Sheet like this, but it's as good as it can be. So as you can see, we have credentials. Everything links to the page. You guys will have full access once through my Patreon. You will have full access, but as we can see, we have credentials, ability rundown, matchup guide, build path and runes, tips and tricks, game plan, and useful resources. Starting off with credentials, I'm not going to go over or read. You guys can pause and read. Some I do have blurred because obviously this is a paid guide, not a free guide, but I'm fine to show you guys the credentials so you guys can read over. As you can see, my highest rank, 72% win rates, 80% win rate on Akshan. Highest rank I got recently. This was about a year ago. Those are my credentials. So if you guys are unfamiliar with either Akshan or me, you guys can utilize this to kind of understand why I am able to talk about Akshan and teach you guys it. Next up, we have ability rundown. You can see I have laid out everything beautifully, spent a lot of time customizing and making sure everything looks good. So ability rundown, you can see passive. I give a rundown about basically a summary of what it does, right? And then I give you notes, right, giving you tips. Some things in here you might not actually know, even if you have played Akshan for a while, especially if I scroll down. You're going to see a lot of cool tips and tricks with either his Q, his E, his W, his R. Things that people, even if you have a bunch of Akshan games, might not know. This is my favorite part of the actual entire guide. Now, this is also what took the longest. This is the matchup guide. Akshan 101 costs 10 bucks a month. This itself is already worth that 10 bucks, if not more. So this has every single matchup in the mid lane. Obviously, I play Akshan mid, right? There are some top lane champs, but over 50 mid lane champions all laid out for you guys to be able to see. So how you can utilize this is, let's say you buy the guide, right? And you queue up, you verse against, let's say like Azir or something. You can control F, go into Azir, and everything is laid out. This is insane. Everything's laid out beautifully. You can see the difficulty, you can see what runes to go, and you can see every single thing, how you want to play the matchup. This is absolutely insane. You can see how you want to play, what setup you can go, stuff like that, and give you key tips to basically play the matchup and hopefully win. Now, the next part I cannot actually show because if I show it just leaks the whole purpose, but I can show screenshots with blur. This is the next part. As you can see, titled here, build path and runes. This is basically just everything to optimize on Akshan. This is standard build path optimization. You can see I have it laid out, starting item, and then what to build afterwards. Next, we have rune optimization, pretty self-explanatory. What runes to go, what can you opt for, stuff like that. Now, this is actually a very, very cool part. In my honest opinion, I don't think anyone has ever done this before for a champion or a guide. This is shop optimization. I always wanted to do this when I used to be a Vlad main a couple years ago, but I've never gotten to do it. In here, I have, and this is super unique. I don't think anyone or any guide has done this, but I do think it's valuable. Basically, shop optimization is, in the game, how much gold do you have? What should you buy? I see a common mistake when I coach Akshan players. They will buy the wrong starting items and basically halt their power spike consistently because they just don't think about what items to buy, right? For example, if you have 300 gold, what should you buy? Pretty much nothing. I mean, if you have to back on 300 gold, you can buy boots, obviously, right? But if you have 300 gold, try thinking about it in a way where, can I stay for an extra wave to get the 450 buy, right? Can I stay an extra wave to get the 500 buy? As you go down in list, that is the priority. So you can see right here, the best first back is always going to be 1025. That should be the gold amount you aim for every single time when you play Akshan. And then obviously this rest is blurred. You would have to buy the guide, but it goes over every single item, what back amount of gold you should be looking towards. And if you back, let's say with 1100 gold, you're going to want to buy this back, which is perfect for you. Stuff like that, right? And this changes for every single game. It's not perfect by any means. If it was perfect, I would list so much more, but I feel as if that would just complicate things. But this is a very nice basic thing. For example, if you play a game, you can have this open in your second monitor. You back with 550 gold, boom. Buy refill and longsword. Perfect. Next, I mean, this is pretty self-explanatory. People always ask, do you max Q, do you max E? This gives you every single max capability and when you should go it. So as you can see, Q max here, standard Q max, standard E max, E start with Q max, stuff like that, right? I list over everything, I give you keynotes, stuff like that. So this is going to be very useful for those that kind of wonder when you should go Q max, when you should go E max. Lastly, in the optimization page, summoner spell, everyone once again asked me, should I go ignite, should I go TP? I do have keynote here that basically says you can go either or. It doesn't really matter. It does honestly come down to preference. For example, if you wanted to go ignite every single game, you totally could. Same with TP, but I kind of list over here the reasonings as to why you might choose one over the other. And more in depth in my matchup guide, I kind of go over what you should be going based on matchup to matchup. So that completes the build path and rune. Now moving on to tip and tricks. I do have this also blurred because the page would just show everything if I clicked on it. So tips and tricks look like this. As you can see, this part is really cool. I set it up beautifully. Basically, there will be tips here that are written. There will be tips here that are written in other portions, but there's also a lot of new tips. I can almost guarantee you one of these tricks you probably did not know if you are an Akshan player below Masters, in my opinion. There are a bunch of tips, and I give you literal video examples and the timestamps of the video. It's going to be about 5-second timestamps every single time, just to kind of show. So for example, if you read this and don't understand it and you want a video concept, boom, you go click on this. It's a hyperlink. You can click on it on the guide, go to 41 seconds, and then watch what I mean. For example, this is the video on the first tip and tricks. We're going to go to 41 seconds. It's already here because I was setting it up. So the tip is early game, look to auto attack, walk back, and then E when they walk up. Your mark lasts 5 seconds. So you have a lot of time to E and it will target them. So let's look at the example here. As you can see, exactly what I just said, right? And then you're going to get a very beautiful trade like this. And yeah, pretty self-explanatory. Now, this is like the very baseline tip. I feel like most people know this, but there are a lot of very advanced tips that I have listed out. Next up, we have the game plan section. This is going to be, as you can see right here, you can see some of it because, I mean, you can see some of it, doesn't matter, but the bulk of the game plan is blurred out, obviously. So you can see I have laid it out to early game, mid game, late game, and over here there is an ultra late game. So as you can see, started the game to 8-minute mark. I know technically speaking, League doesn't classify 8-minute to be the end of early game, but the reason why I do is because that is when Akshan actually gets his first item, roughly, right? And so I broken up to Akshan's mid game, which starts around 8 minutes after he gets his first item. And you can see it lays out literally exactly how you want to play Akshan early game, mid game, and late game beautifully. And the last section is going to be useful resources, which looks like this. Very similar layout to the tip and tricks, but this is actually going to just give you basically a bunch of videos that I would personally recommend you watch. It is very valuable information. This is the very baseline of it. There are some really, really useful resources here that people probably have not watched, and I would highly recommend some very hidden gems around my YouTube channels that I have posted here, and it's just going to help you have a better understanding of Akshan altogether. And yeah, so that is basically the Akshan 101. I can show you guys the last page. It just wraps up everything. If you want to do a read on fully, it just goes over everything and kind of advertise my coaching if you want to fully commit yourself to getting better at League of Legends. So yeah, now I'm going to talk about exactly how you can unlock it. Obviously, it's through my Patreon. So when you click on my Patreon, you're going to actually see 3 tiers. The first tier, you're not going to have access to my Akshan 101. You're just going to have access to my coaching VODs, which is still worth the $5. Like, in my opinion, I made my Patreon very, very cheap for what value you can get. So a coaching VOD, which is not shown on YouTube, it is for $5 a month, which is very cheap. That is a very useful tool for you. Now, Akshan 101, this is probably the best here and what I recommend. You get everything I listed today, and you get access to this, right? For literally $10 a month. That's like 1 or 2 cups of coffee, right? So very, very high value. And if you want even more value, you can get 3 months of Akshan 101 for only $25, and you can save $5. So how you basically buy, you obviously can either buy this tier or this tier, right? They're the same thing. If you do choose to buy the 3 months, remember to cancel your subscription. And how I have it set up is you're going to get 3 months access of the Google Sheets if you buy this, even though it is a per month subscription, right? So you just cancel it once you buy it, and you have access. Now, how this works, it's actually tied to my Discord. Basically how it works, once you get into my Discord, there is a section called Akshan 101. All you have to do is link your Patreon with your Discord and then click on verify. And once you verify, this bot will actually give you access to the Google Sheet. Now, it might take a little while. I have ran some tests. It should be pretty quick now, maybe like 5 to 10 minutes before the bot recognizes that you actually have bought the subscription. And once it recognizes, you will have access to the Google Sheet.
If you cannot afford the $10 and still want access to the Akshan 101, don't worry. Make sure you are in my Discord, as I will be doing consistent giveaways to offer free access. There is also a free option available through channel points on my Twitch. Thank you.
Anyways, that is the video. Hopefully you guys consider purchasing the Akshan 101. I truly have spent significant amount of time working on this, and it would mean a lot to me. I also made it as best as it can be. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave it down below in the comments. And yeah, that is it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll catch you next time.